Good morning, everybody. We're going to continue the biopic review series this morning with one of my all-time favorite biopics, Coal Miner's Daughter, starring Sissy Spacek, Tommy Lee Jones, Levon Helm, and Beverly D'Angelo. Also starring Roy Acuff as himself in the Grand Ole Opry scenes. And it was based on Loretta Lynn's book of the same name, which came out in 1976. And it basically traces Loretta's life from the time she was about 13 when she married her Doolittle, and to the time, I think, around, well, I'm not exactly sure, right after she had her breakdown on stage, in, I would say, the mid-70s. So probably right before she wrote the book. And to me, this, like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite biopics. And to me, Sissy Spacek she is Loretta Lynn. I mean, in my eyes, she is the only person that could play Loretta. As a matter of fact, if they ever tried to remake Coal Miner's Daughter, nobody could hold a microphone stand to her. She was tremendous. And by the way, it was this movie came out in 1980, and but she was tremendous. She embodied Loretta Lynn. I mean, actually, on a side note, Loretta picked Sissy to play her, and she worked with her on how to get Loretta's mannerisms down and the voice. And as with a lot of biopics these days, the actors are singing to tracks, which is basically lip syncing, or they're lip syncing to tracks. And but this is not the case here. Sissy, what they did was they stripped all of Loretta Lynn's vocals off the songs that they were going to use in the movie, and Sissy re-recorded her own vocals, and she is a tremendous singer. Actually, she, on another side note, she and Levon Helm performed Coal Miner's Daughter, the song, in promotion for the movie, and she was tremendous. And actually, Sissy actually released her one and only solo record, which is a shame that I think she only released one, because like I said, she is a tremendous singer. And but she embodied Loretta. I mean, there's nobody better. And actually, it as a result of the movie, Loretta and Sissy formed a not just a friendship, but I believe a sisterhood that lasted all the way up to Loretta's passing and a couple years ago. And actually, Sissy, their relationship was so deep that Sissy actually accepted an award for Loretta because Loretta was too ill to appear. And you can tell that they loved each other. And but this cast, Loretta, Tommy Lee Jones, Levon, was made to play these characters. I mean, the same thing on a lesser degree happened with Loretta's husband Mooney, or Doolittle. He actually worked with Tommy Lee Jones on how to get his mannerisms down, and Tommy actually, looked like Do and stuff, and I think it kind of helped, inform Tommy's portrayal of Doolittle, that Tommy came from that, was a part of that, area, or grew up around that area. So he kind of, already knew the character and, and already knew how to play it. And as far as Levon Helm goes, this was Levon's first movie as an actor, and what I was surprised that he hadn't been in other movies before this one aside from Last Waltz, because he was so good. I mean, but my favorite scene that involves Leon is when Loretta, this was before Loretta and Do got married. My favorite scene that involves Levon is when they're listening to the Opry on the Grand Ole Opry on the radio, and they're and Levon starts singing Blue Moon of Kentucky, and so he was the perfect person to play Loretta's father, Ted. And another funny scene that kind of involves Levon, that I love. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is the scene where Doolittle is asking for Loretta's hand in marriage, and he actually runs back and forth between Loretta's mom and dad, asking him, because one says, go ask Clary, then the other one says, go ask Ted, and so he's kind of mixed up by the time he's old, but anyway. Another thing that I'd like to say about this is that in regards to this being not like any other biopic, is that another example of this style of biopic would be Walk the Line, by Johnny Cash, or about Johnny Cash, and those actors in Walk the Line, which we will be discussing in a later review, were made to play Johnny and June, just like Tommy Lee, Beverly, and Sissy when ready to play Loretta, Patsy, and Doolittle. And and but my favorite portrayal of Patsy Cline is not Jessica Lange's portrayal of her in Sweet Dreams, but Beverly D'Angelo's portrayal of her in Coal Miners. And see, I think Beverly was kind of like Levon. She was already a singer, and so she kind of already had, and she had her voice down. Patsy's voice. I mean, she had her singing voice down to a T. And actually, if you look at the credits of the movie, you can see that there was no lip syncing going on. All of the singing was done by Levon, Beverly, and Sissy. So really, this biopic is one of the best, and they don't make biopics like this anymore. I mean, this was a true masterpiece, and every time I watch it, I get a little misty now that Loretta and Levon are gone. And it's so good that there's a song in the movie called In the Pines that Loretta sings to one of her siblings, and I looked it up to see if Loretta actually recorded it, and she did, and I put it on my Spotify playlist. That's how good the movie is. And when I the first couple times I watched the movie, it kind of made me want to dive into Loretta's catalog, and check her out, and she is tremendous. I mean, and so if you haven't seen this movie, you are so missing out, and I urge everybody to check it out. I give this 5 stars. She won the Oscar in 1981.